Columbus, Ohio, Columbus Women&Girls Festival, the global community online. I have the pleasure to speak today to the one and only mother of Black Hollywood, Miss Jenifer Lewis.
Hello, Dr. E. It's a pleasure
Oh,
to be here.
oh, it's such a pleasure and an honor to speak with you today.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I have been listening to the audio copy of your book, The Mother of Black Hollywood. And you give us so much inspiration, so much wisdom. And I would advise people to download the Audible copy because it's just like you getting her telling you. You are getting, and she's not reading her book to you. She is performing, expressing her life to you.
Very much so. You know, everybody has enjoyed the audio so much. Yes, I give my soul, my entire soul to the reading, but people love my voice. For some reason, I don't know. I don't hear it. People imitate me all the time, and they love my lines from What's Love Got to Do with It. Anime, these pearls are tied around my neck. You know, they know every line from every movie, which is adorable. The kids, the millennials know when they were kids watching Fresh Prince, you are on my list. No, that was Different World. Girl, I've done so many sitcoms. I don't know one line from the other, but I want to say that I'm grateful to everyone for the love and support all throughout the years.
Yes. Oh my God. And we're grateful to you for keeping it real and being an activist and not just getting to the mega stratosphere of the Hollywood industry, but still being who you are and, speaking truth.
Well, you know, I didn't really understand the internet. I wasn't really into it because, I'm from the theater and everything I like live. I like it live so that you can feel people laughing, feel them crying, feel them thinking. So it wasn't until I did that song with Brandy and Roz Ryan, I don't want nobody messing with me in these streets.
In these streets.
Yes, it got 45 million views.
Wow.
So when I saw that, it was like, okay, wow, I have a bigger platform now. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that I could reach that many people just for acting a damn fool, basically. But that song was about police brutality. It was about a con artist coming in my life at that time. On the same day my mother died, I found out my boyfriend was a professional con artist.
Wow.
So I was like, but you bring yourself together, you hold yourself together, and you do the work. Mm-hmm. You do the work.
And your book is definitely about you have been doing the work even when you were in your sad places and you were doing the work still.
Yes, I come from great poverty. And even as a little girl, I knew there was something bigger for me to do. My mother was 26 years old. I was her 7th child. And I was the baby. So she was a domestic. We got the government food, we were on welfare, and all the dysfunction that comes with poverty.
Right.
So I went on to grade school and junior high school, and I slowly discovered I was a leader.
Yeah.
I was an alpha female.
Yeah. You were the class president too.
Absolutely. Captain of the cheerleading squad, class president, leading walkouts in high school for Angela Davis's birthday. I was an activist right out of the gate. So I just had a passion for life. I had a passion for making sure everybody was taken care of. I became that leader. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then after college, Webster University, I kind of took over the theater department there. And then I went on to New York, and there was no fear in me, Dr. E. I had no fear.
No.
I had a dream, a
You did.
passion, and I tackled it like this.
You
I would
did.
only look off for two, but it was just show business, business.
Well, let me ask you this. So you say that your boyfriend, Miguel, or is it Miguel? Miguel. He was the love of your life.
Yes.
And you really loved him, and he really loved you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that drive that you had. You chose being an actress over being a wife to your true love. And what was it that you knew about Miguel and being a wife and your drive to be the best at your craft that made you choose New York over him?
Well, the thing, the thing was I was very young. I was 19. And, I had a dream.
You did.
He was a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't see myself as a wife, because back then, men were allowed to kind of tell you what to do and where you been. And I was like, oh, honey, I'm sorry. Because I enjoyed life. Though I was dealing with bipolar disorder, at that time, I didn't know it was a mental illness, but it was the mania that drove me, to this meteoric place, to star on Broadway and to, become this. I wanted to be a star. I wanted to be a star so my mother would love me. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Yes,
we all have our reasons.
Yeah.
Wow. But I learned over the years, after a lot of therapy, you really have to love yourself.
Yes.
You have to do that first. You got to really pay attention to what your soul is singing.
You talk about that in the book.
Yes. What is your music? What symphony are you part of? Every tree, every leaf on a tree is a part of the symphony. So when you find that passion, what can I tell you? You got to give it everything you've got.
And you knew it.
There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to run. I said on Charlemagne the God, what's the show called? The Breakfast Club. I got money to run. I do. But when you get there, you're going to meet yourself. So do the work. There's a chapter in my new book that I'm writing right now. I've titled Happy on Your Way to Happy. Don't think you're going to get somewhere or get this thing or this show or this job and then be happy. No, you start in the morning when you're brushing your teeth.
Come on.
And instead of standing there putting on makeup for 2 hours, how about you look into your own eyes? Where am I? What am I doing? Am I leading with love?
Wow. Yeah.
Am I creating this day on purpose? Because you're going to meet what you're looking for. People say to me, Miss Lewis, did you deal with a lot of racism? Okay, of course I've come into a scene somewhere in my life where somebody did some dumb shit. But I don't wake up looking for it. So I don't find it often.
That's
and
awesome.
When you see it, you better take 3 deep breaths before you act a fool. Because that hurts us all. It offends us all.
Yeah.
But you watch your step with that rage that comes out when someone insults you. You take a step back. Because the truth is, if there's no truth in what they're saying, what are you upset about?
That's right.
You can only take care of yourself and listen to your reaction to what's going on in your life and understand, I'm sorry, but somehow you created it. Don't be saying you created that job and you created this and you didn't create that other thing. So take responsibility for your life, for your part. You come and go, well, he did this and she did that. What did you do? What did you do? And there is a mental illness called borderline personality disorder. And that disorder itself ain't nothing wrong with me. That's why you can't reach those people.
Wow.
Ain't nothing wrong with me. Whoa, these are people who never say they're sorry first. You can try to help them, but you better help yourself first, is all I have to say.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I wanted to definitely get this question in.
Okay.
I was involved and introduced into sex trafficking at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And although there was a lot of it that I did not like, there was an aspect of being in sex trafficking that made me feel powerful, that made me feel like nobody could hurt me. And I thought about that when I was reading your chapter, The Sex Diva, in that chapter. Right, I was trying to.
You gotta say it loud, dog, girl. That you can say. The name of the chapter is Dick Diva, because that's what they called me. It was my nickname, girl. It was my nickname.
But what I identified with in there was when you talked about once you started going to therapy and talking to your therapist, that you realized that you were addicted to sex as a part of medicating the pain of the abuse that you suffered as a young person, being molested by your pastor, and just the hardship that your mother had, and she wasn't able to love you like she wanted to.
Well, there was no
loving you the way that she could. She was loving you.
Have 7 children,
right?
They're not going to really get the attention they need, and you're 26. Imagine.
Right.
Now, here's the thing about those horrible things that have happened to us. You got to use it. You got to go. See, I garden. And I know that if you snatch that weed, it's going to grow back. So we have to do what you do in the garden. You got to go down and get the root. The root of the pain. When did it happen and what happened to you? It's called arrested development. When we are abused, a lot of times we'll freeze in that moment. And whatever age you are, not easy to get out of that.
Wow.
And that's why a lot of people, it's difficult for a lot of people to grow up into adulthood. They're afraid to do it because they were abused by an adult. A lot of people grow up and they don't want to have children because they know what happened to them. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can go into. We can go back to slavery. And that to sell, speaking of Black mothers, to sell their children down the river is in their DNA. Because when they had the kids, the colonizers and the slave owners came and took them. It's so deep. All of it's deep. So go down there and get it, and then let it go. Let it go and live, honey. We only got 5 minutes. Life is so short. So treat it like you got 5 minutes. Live every day like it's your last. See, I ain't speaking these, dramatics and proverbs, but I believe that. My sayings are do your best and leave the rest. Love yourself. so that love will not be a stranger when it comes. You see, a lot of us weren't taught love. I say that in my second book. They had what? Okay. 2 + 2 is 4. George Washington crossed the Delaware, you know. But there was not a class on happiness. The pursuit of happiness. Because what it comes down to is, who are you as a human being? Are you kind? Did you help somebody? You know, were you selfish all day? Was it all about you? It doesn't make for peace of mind.
No.
Because see, when I was not treated, a lot of selfishness comes with that mania. A lot of,
it's all about me.
Yes, the delusions of grandeur, the omnipotence, you know, I have to save the world. All of that, it's not warped thinking, it's just, you got to stay in reality, baby. That's all. You know, this is what we have. This is the world we have. We have to adjust now to wearing masks and social distancing. I'm 63 years old. I don't feel like learning. Well, I walk out of my dressing room at Blackish. Oh, my mask. We have to wear the shield. Then we have to pick up the disinfected prop. Then we're tested 3 times a week. Even on your day off, you've got to go in. Now, when I see a day off, I think I'm off. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Lewis. It's a new day. So get on over there to Disney and take your test. And we have to now evolve to new behavior.
That's true.
So who are you going to be when you come out of this lockdown? You're going to be better, you're going to be worse. Move that body. Get up and move your body. Eat as healthy as you can. Don't think you can drink because we can't go out of the house and then you're not going to emerge an alcoholic.
Right.
Because you sat up and drank all these months.
Or you
Come on, y'all. We got to take care of ourselves and pay attention to what's going on in this reality.
That's true. I have a question here from a community member.
Okay.
Kathy Carter. She is a counselor at Champion Middle School. And she asked, how would you suggest educators encourage our students to get in good trouble as it relates to social injustices of today?
All I can tell them is, you're the future. We didn't pay attention a lot to the government. I know I didn't. But if Donald Trump did one thing, he woke us up.
He did.
So I say to that generation and that counselor, teach them well. Don't hold anything back. They're going into a harsh society. And they're going into a society that does not love them. See, I didn't pay attention. I love myself so much. I ain't caring nothing about white people, Chinese people, black people, Puerto Rican. I didn't care nothing about nobody not liking me. I bet if I sing you a song, you'll shut up. And that's what I tried to do. It's a Toni Morrison thing where she will shock you and bring you into her stories. And you're like, what is she talking about? And you're so lit up. And then 6 pages later, she tells you everything. She rocks you like you're a baby, and you feel so safe in her story that she's going to impart these amazing characters and give you this journey of everything about life. She doesn't miss a beat.
That's how I felt when I was listening to your book.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's how I felt, man. I was like, man, and I like how you started it, and you went, you progressed, and then you came back to Kinloch, Missouri, and
yes.
you connected just so many things. And as it gets toward the end, you start talking about your healing and the therapy that you went through, because you're really showing us all of the struggles that you had before then, but then you go back and you show us how those things were a part of what your mental situations were at that time, and how
Yeah.
you had to come to grips with them.
Oh,
and,
which
and
he
you
when
give us so many nuggets of wisdom, like you just did now, just talking to me, the wisdom that you dropped.
you know what it is, Dr. E. And I'm going to go back to my second book a lot because that's where my consciousness is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying writing this book. Whereas with The Mother of Black Hollywood, there was fear that I would, that my siblings
Mm-hmm.
would be hurt by what I said
Mm-hmm.
about my childhood. And I love my siblings. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. One passed away from a massive heart attack.
Right.
And that's why I say to my people, eat healthy. He used to eat a lot of fried food down there in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta eat, people. You are what you eat. Come on.
That's true.
But I'm off the question because I went into my brother. What was the question?
You said you were going to go back into you were going to answer it from the perspective of your new book. I was talking.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the question was?
I was just elaborating on how you gave us the therapy, you gave us the wisdom of
Mhm.
of
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. I used to wonder why I wasn't, when I turned 30, I remember standing in the mirror going, God, why am I not as famous as Michael Jackson? I just stood there. I was a little tipsy. I'm talking to God. I said, listen, girl. But anyway, I took the elevator. Oh, no, excuse me. I
took
took
the stairs. You took the stairs.
but no elevator nowhere near my career. I took the stairs.
Mm.
I remember in grade school, once again, I was an alpha female. Somebody got hurt on the playground. They brought them to me before they took them to the office. I'd be double dutching. I wouldn't even stop. I'd like, take them to the office. And then, conquering the theater department at Webster University.
Mm.
Because I was so passionate about what I did. You have to find your passion and then be passionate about it.
Right. I love when you talk about your one woman show, that you knew that you had to do that one woman show to get the recognition that you needed to take you to another level, even though you were already a star.
Well, here's the thing. When I finally went into therapy, my therapist saw, with all my shenanigans at the time, because I was bouncing off the wall, literally, having a nervous breakdown from, all my friends dying from AIDS. It was a very difficult time. But what she saw is that I wanted to be well. She saw through all of that song and dance. And she was thinking to herself, this is a kid that wants to be well. So she pretty much took me under my wing because I was not an easy client. I had a lot of rage in me. But the point I'm making, Dr. E, is you have to want to be well. And then you have to be patient. I was patient for my medication. I was very rebellious at first. I was like, girl, you ain't putting me on no medication. I'm Jenifer Lewis. I live for, my edge is who I am. But that wasn't who I was. Who I was a vulnerable human being like everybody else.
Yeah.
We are vulnerable creatures.
Yeah.
We think sometimes, like teenagers, they're immune to this and immune to that.
No.
That's youthful thinking.
Right.
And it comes in handy. But darling, when you hit about 50,
Tell
you
me.
might want to watch your step and take it a step at a time. So from that mirror, asking God, why wasn't I already a star at 30 years old? I didn't understand, and that's what I want your girls to understand. You've got to take the stairs.
You gotta
and that's why I said grade school, college, Broadway, Hollywood.
Yes.
But my greatest success, and let me say this out loud, is I have a smile on my face.
You do.
I wanted to be happy, Dr. E. I knew how to sing. I knew how to dance. I knew how to act. I knew I was funny. I knew I was pretty. 36, 24, 36. What a winning hand. Come on. Fred. How? Girl. I was all. Dance, baby. Go on, Dr. E.
Oh man, I swear I want you to do your diva dismissed. I want to see that. That's on my bucket list. Before I die, I want to see that show.
I promise you, you will see.
Oh,
One day, come hell or high water.
oh, I will. Oh,
Yes.
that'll make my day. So
I have to do it on Netflix for you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll be sitting there. I'll watch it over and over, like I've been listening to your book over and over. I want to get this question in from a community member.
Yes, ma'am.
This is from Sherry Neal. She is an arts activist in our community. And she says, what would be your advice for a creative person who struggles with bipolar disorder, treatment, and managing relationships?
Patience. Patience with yourself. Recognize that you have a disease, just like any other disease. Mm-hmm. There's so much taboo around mental illness, but I do want to say it's getting better now. And when I went on my book tour, a lot of people in different communities informed me that they are starting to do counseling in churches and youth centers. I do think it's getting better, but Black people do have a problem with therapy, and they need to get over it because we all need help. Yeah. We all need to look in the mirror. So if she then knows she is bipolar, or someone she knows is bipolar, the steps is to look in the mirror and say, I have a problem. But the next thing to say to yourself, in all honesty,
I feel it.
Do I want to be
well? Yeah.
And if you want to be well, that desire is what you put in front of you every day. Go and get help. And I don't want to hear I can't afford it. There are programs in America that are there for you. Yeah. And there's always somebody out of 7.6 billion people that you can talk to, and they will help you. Go to somebody, tell them. If they don't help, go tell somebody else. And then go tell somebody else. If you want to be well, it has to come from you. I'm sorry, baby. Nobody's going to rescue. No therapist is going to rescue you. You have to do it.
That's the deep thing, though, about mental illness and about addiction. Addiction is mental illness.
It's all.
But you gotta ask for the help. You gotta want it, and that's took me a long time to get there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, after 17 years of therapy, see, I had to be re-raised. Listen, I had to be completely re-raised. But after 17 years of therapy, Lost my train of thought. There's so much to talk about. There's
know.
so much I want to say. But with this, let's go back to the girl and her question, because that's more important. Ask for help. If medication is required of you, what you have to do is be patient for your levels. I don't push medication, but if you need it, that's once again, that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be the combination of talk therapy and medication. And read books, do your research. What are the symptoms? What pushes your buttons? Like, I have to stand back when I'm at work and navigate what's going on. Be an observer instead of trying to be involved in everything, in every conversation. Step back and listen. See? And I'm going to tell this little story right now. Michael Moore, who made Columbine? Bowling for Columbine.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He interviewed Marilyn Manson, who did all the gothic things in black and everything, because remember, those boys wore black coats. So I guess Michael and a lot of people were blaming, rock music or acid music or this kind of music on these kids acting out. So Michael Moore interviewed him, and he asked him, if those boys that shot up that school were here right now, what would you say to them? The best answer in the world. Marilyn said, I would listen to them, because obviously nobody did.
Wow.
So that's what I say. Listen, be an observer, allow other people to live their life. You pay attention to yours. Once again, what was your part? And because all that pointing the finger, that don't get you nowhere, honey. Look in the mirror, go home, look in the mirror, go home. I've got a chapter in my book, it's called The Visitation, where you go outside and just sit under a tree. And I say to the person, I know a dog shit over here and pee, but sit down anyway. Hey, sit down and be still. Girl, this book gonna be so good. This second book, Dr. E.
Do you have the title for it already?
Well, the working title, I don't know if my editors will let me keep it, but the working title is Walking in My Joy.
That's beautiful.
Yes, because, what can I tell you? I've evolved to this place. Nobody's perfect, but I fight for that joy every day. And if you practice it, then you don't have to fight for it. You become. It's practice. It's work. None of this is, but choice. You got to understand, it's like Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? And that applies to so many things. What are you going to do for you? You sleep 8 hours. What are you going to do with the rest of the time? What do you do with it? Do things that make you happy. Watch comedy instead of all that horror shit that people watch and go to bed with that consciousness still on them. Because you're going to wake up how you went to sleep. You believe that. You go to sleep crying, you're going to wake up crying.
Wow.
You go to sleep laughing, you wake up laughing.
Wow.
So choose.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing I want to say. The day that I touched bliss, you don't hear that word, but if you walk in your joy, who knows, you might touch a little bliss.
Come on.
A journalist asked me, how I did that. And I told her without pause or hesitation. It was the day I looked in the mirror and took responsibility for every choice I had made, was gonna make, and was making in that moment. Attention must be paid. And I'm talking, everybody says, a day at a time. I say an hour at a time. And sometimes I say, how about every moment? And there's a thing I'm talking about in my book, that which I define as grace, that moment between breaths that compels you to take the next breath.
Wow.
That space between inhale and exhale, and then the next inhale. Pay attention.
Wow.
It's your life, it's your breath, it's your heartbeat. Those are your five senses. Honor them, respect them. This ain't rehearsal. Life is not a rehearsal.
Life is not a rehearsal.
You know?
One of my questions was, what advice do you have for women artists? I got some of my answers from your story though. For real, because what you showed, you had that seed of stardom in you. And you
I was blessed, I was lucky that I knew what I wanted to be at an early age. Everybody doesn't get that.
Right.
I've never taken it for granted. I know how profound that was to know that, and how that took me through life. I had a boyfriend once who said that to me. He said, Jenifer, everybody doesn't have those soldiers that you have. But I said to him, oh, yes, they do. All you got to do is wake up. I'm no better or worse than anybody else. But I know who I am. And that's what I say to the girls.
Well, I just loved when you talked about the Diva Dismiss show, and how Nina Simone came up to you after with Adela Shabazz.
Yes.
And you said something that was a little clever or whatever. And
no, she extended her hand to me after my one woman show. And she said, hello, I'm Nina Simone. I said, oh, I know who you are. I said, I know every lyric, riff. Oh my God, you're talking about a study, a great study.
Oh, do it.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Yeah. I wish I could break all these chains binding me. I wish you could know how it feels to be free. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. Oh, I wish. Hey.
Oh, I didn't want you to let that go.
That's what my activism has done for me. I want to know more now. I want to understand how the world and governments work. I'm raw, down to earth.
I love it.
Honest.
Yeah.
I don't play no other cards, baby. Those are the cards I play. And I remember this guy I was dating. I said, you'll never have to wonder what I'm thinking about. I'll tell you. But when, there are a lot of these Zoom interviews now, LGBTQ, NAACP, the Black Journalist Convention. I've done them all, CNN, MSNBC, and they come and I can't say no.
Wow.
Right now is too important.
No.
Right now, everybody needs everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I had Blackish this morning. What did it cost me to sit here in my own home and speak to these girls? Come on. It takes a village.
It does.
And if I can say one thing, that one person will be able to take one more step, then so be it. You'll see. It gives me pleasure. That's what makes me sleep at night. People come up to me at a book signing and said, you know, they have that brief moment where I sign their book and they all want to talk to me, and I listen as well as I can, but you know they got to move the line.
Right.
People will rush right in and they'll say,
how you saved their life through something that they read in your book or something they heard you say.
Yes, it's every day.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
And it brings me joy.
It is.
I tell people, whenever somebody tells me that they were helped by anything that I've done, each time my soul explodes with gratitude. I've never taken that for granted. And in the beginning of my life, when I was first treating my bipolar disorder, I was, believe it or not, it was very weird to be recognized. Yeah. I was like, oh shit. And my boyfriend at the time said, Jenifer, you've got to stop and acknowledge these people. They love you. I was like, okay. Hi. You know, it takes a moment to evolve to understanding where you've come from, where you're going, where are you in the moment? Are you living on purpose? Did you define this day for yourself, or is somebody else going to come in and start some shit? And are you going to let them? Can you walk away? Or can you sit down and work through it? Better to work through it so you don't carry it.
Right.
Be an adult. Face the music. No matter what music is playing, do your part. Everybody's got to play a role now.
Yes.
And nobody's getting out of here alive, so you might as well have a good time. Come on, y'all. Have a good time.
Oh my God. You are something. I'm telling you, you're something. I'm telling everybody. I know she's got a new book coming out, but get the Audible audio copy of The Mother of Black Hollywood.
I listen. When I respect people, I listen. Because I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to see what it is that we're doing, and are we doing our best? That's important to me. Life is short.
It is. It is. I really understand that. Because I used to think people were telling me things because they thought they were better than me. You know? Yeah, I used
some of them, now wait a minute, don't get it twisted. Some of them do. But that's why you got to know who you are.
Right.
Before you enter the room. And if you do that work that says, I'm going to live on purpose today, not just willy-nilly, and leave yourself vulnerable to all kind of chaos and carrying on. You take charge of your life and how you're going to react to it. You know, so
Well, I really
I'm
appreciate
gonna,
you.
yeah. You're an angel.
Oh my God, you are
You're
too.
just an angel. You remind me, you remind me of a little bit.
Who?
Loretta Devine.
Really? Oh my God, that's a huge compliment too.
No, she's sugar. She's sugar.
Oh my goodness.
On screen and off. But I'm gonna go now.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got to
Thank
some
you.
more. I got to do a song about Biden.
Oh, so okay, you can do it.
We're riding with Biden. Let me see.
Riding with Biden.
You can be the first to hear it.
Let me hear.
Riding with Biden, a blue wave rolling over the land of the free. We're riding with Biden, a blue wave. We got to save democracy. We're riding with Biden. We're riding with Biden on a blue wave that'll wash this shit away. We're riding with Biden. Yippee-ki-yo. Yippee-ki-yo.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to do that.
Yes, and Kamala. You got to do a Kamala song.
No. She going to be in there, honey. Don't you worry.
She's in there.
Look,
my daughter's going to wave at you.
I talked to her sister yesterday and sent her a donation. Who is that?
My daughters.
What the other one?
Can she
Thank you so much.
Get in here. Get over there by your mama so I can see all three of them.
My granddaughter's been coming by that door too, but I found them away.
Get in there by mama so I can see. Oh, Dr. E, they're beautiful. Look at them. Hi, babies.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
You are a blessing.
Oh, you guys sneaking and creeping around. I want to see the big movie star.
Yes. And we did.
Thank you.
Oh, you're an angel.
Lady. You're awesome. I knew you were. And
well,
Julia.
Godspeed.
All right. We love y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.